Strategic Head, Investment at the Department for Business and Trade at the British High Commission. Vikram is a seasoned senior management executive with a distinguished career spanning esteemed MNCs like GE Capital, American Express, Dell, and IBM. Sure. He brings with him, gentlemen, Vikram. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am, for the very dynamic introduction. Am I audible in the end? Can I get a glass, please? I think I've been talking for a long time, so I'm not having some water. But good afternoon. After a very high-octane session by the Chief Minister and Aman Gupta, especially Aman Gupta's session made me realize that the last 15 years I should have also tried something else. But I'm so sort of stuck in corporate slavery that it's so hard to come. Thank you. It's so really hard to come out of it. I'm very delighted to be here. Thank you so much for coming for the session. I think Chandigarh is becoming like a bit of a second home for us now. This is probably my third trip in the last 7 months or so. And every time we come here, I'm so incredibly impressed with the ecosystem and the startups and the work that the government and the STPI are doing. It's absolutely incredible. So what I'm going to do for the next 15-20 minutes in the interest of time, I'll just walk you through some slides on why you should consider the UK. You know, what is the UK, what has UK got to offer in terms of support, who are we as a department, and how can we help you? So, as a starter, I work for Department for Business and Trade at the British High Commission in Delhi. And my job and my colleague and I who are here, their job is basically to help all Indian companies who are looking to set up in the UK. So that's our primary responsibility. And I just want to...
Let's maintain some silence, please. Thank you.
That's good. Maybe you should have said this earlier. Thanks. I'm just waiting for some slides to come up. Are they ready?
The UK government and India, I mean in terms of setting up business and all that. So, in UK, right? Am I correct? I mean, you help, you are in British High Commission and you help, you know, the company set up in UK and you probably promote trade and all that.
Yes.
Is that? Okay, so, you know, things are becoming very global in terms of businesses and in terms of legal and legal support also. And I'm talking specifically about me, like currently, I'm basically a corporate lawyer. I was in different companies. I was head of legal for a few companies at Delhi Airport and Puerto Rico, you know, Yum Brands and all that. I'm back to Chandigarh and I do corporate practice and I litigate also. Now, parallelly, I am also supporting European companies. I'm giving them legal support in terms of transaction advisory, like solar power, renewable energy, set up in Sweden and all that. So, so I just wanted to understand that considering people like us who have the legal know-how and the corporate setup, so in the times of this global scenario, how effective is it for Indian lawyers to help, you know, companies in UK, you know, do transaction advisory? Because I think it's quite a thing that we are going in for the Indian legal support in terms of. So how does it work out? Like, I'm just trying to figure out. Yes.
So that's a good question, but let me clarify. I represent the British government, so not.
I understand that.
So just to clarify, you'll be surprised that at the moment there are about 1,000 Indian companies in the UK and about 600 plus British companies in India. Right. So there is a massive trade going on. This year alone, and every year, we take about 100 to 200 Indian companies to the UK just to showcase the strengths and highlight the different sectors that it has to offer. Now, when Indian companies are, and we are, so for Indian companies who are looking to set up in the UK, we have an panel set of, you know, lawyers, tax specialists and the others. So if your company, to answer your question specifically, if your company is an expert on the UK legal system, then you can approach us and we can make recommendations, right? Because the way we work is that UK government has a list of not just lawyers, but a whole host of services that we provide to Indian companies setting up, whether it is you're looking to hire people, or you're looking to set up a legal entity, you need help on tax advisory, you need help with what should be the HMRC compliance issues, so on, and the list is endless, right? So we have a host of a network of partners that we work with, who are in panel with us, and we provide support. The reason why the Indian companies are slightly more comfortable because they are setting up their business in the UK. So when they travel there, they want to meet people there. Having said that, if you have a presence there, that's great.
And vice versa for UK companies to set up in the shops in India. So then how does it work?
So we have something called the UK India Business Council, which actually acts as the soft landing, welcome package for all the British companies. That's the first sort of, because most of them are members of UK India Business Council. So if they were to come to India, their first go-to people would be UK India Business Council. And also we have a fairly big sector team. So they would also, many of them would also come to us directly, and then we could recommend them to you and the others. We also work very closely with Invest India. Yesterday we had a very interesting meeting with Invest Punjab. So we are also, now hoping that we'll work very closely with them as well. So I think it is very difficult for us to work with individuals, and therefore it is better to have a network of good partners like Invest India, UKIBC or Invest Punjab, and then they will help you connect with the right set of people there. Yes, I hope that answers your question. Yes.
Anyone?
Instead of we approaching you directly in the British High Commission, it's better that we approach, like if we are in Punjab, in West Punjab, and they'll connect us to you. That will be the ideal route.
That would be for British companies coming to India.
Okay.
Well, ID, cell phone numbers. We also have an office in Chandigarh, right?
Okay.
So if you're looking to set up, and I'll talk a little more about that, sorry about the slides. Or we will discuss that. Yeah. We work, if you're looking to set up in the UK, just either drop us an email or pick up the phone and call us. That's the easiest way.
Yeah, we'll connect now.
And we have Kanika here from TiE. She's getting us every 3 months. Or you can contact her. She's our biggest partner here now. So
yeah, I know her. Definitely.
We have in Chandigarh, Bombay. So every region is well. So let's look at the north. We have the main High Commission in Delhi. Then in Chandigarh. If you look at the west, we have a good presence in Bombay. We have a good presence in Ahmedabad. We have in south. We have Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chennai. So, we have a fairly widespread presence across the country. What do? We reach out to, we work with all the top companies that you can think of, right from the Tata Group to startups. We provide the same kind of service, that's what we want to do. And being a British government department, we're not commercially driven, which means that we don't charge you for anything. We want to make sure that when you land in the UK, you have a good experience or a great experience as you call it, and two, you grow your business. And secondly, we are also responsible for making sure that we continue to handhold you throughout your journey. So I keep telling people that when you are working with us as a government, don't have a transactional relationship, please. Continue to work with us, share your ideas. We also help you raise your profile. We can, for example, we take delegations and we give them visibility with our ministers, with British companies. There's a lot of interaction. There is one delegation that we're planning to take this year, especially for the technology companies, to London Technology Week. So if you're interested to know more details, we've already shared all of that with Kanika. She has all the details. There is a big delegation going to London because the London Tech Week is a festival of technology events. It's about 200 events that happen and about 20 networking events. So you get to meet a lot of your potential sort of clients and buyers and get to network with them. And the second week actually will comprise of going to different regions. So maybe Birmingham, Manchester, Scotland. The second week is going to be part of that. So we want to take you around the UK and show you around that, where you. So top 5 tech companies that you can think of is TCS, Infosys, HCL, Wipro, Tech Mahindra, Genpact, FirstSource, WNS, all of them, Mastech, Datamatics, all of these companies are all doing business in the UK, and they're actually doing very thriving businesses. the amazing part is that all these Indian companies have such an amazing operating model that they continue to, while they obviously they are fierce competitors, but they also manage to coexist very amicably. So that's a great thing. What else? I mean, yes.
Yeah, I have a question. So could you give us an idea in terms of the time it takes to set up the business, like you mentioned compliance. So like we have a sense of how much time it takes in India. So in terms of setting up the business, setting up a bank account, considering we'll not have any rules in terms of residence or a bank office address to start with.
Yeah, I think the question is, how much time does it take to set up business in the UK? Is that your question, right?
Yes.
Yes, actually we said it takes 5 days. So you could, the only thing that takes time is basically setting up a bank account, which is dependent on making sure that you have your company registered in the company's house. That also is dependent on making sure that you have either a co-working space or registered address in the UK. So when you have these 3 things in place, maximum, we normally claim 5 days, but it could take maybe 1 week extra, depending on your paperwork and how quick you are with your advisors and companies that you work with. It could be done rather quickly, and you can start operating. Yesterday, someone was asking me a question that, we need to grow our business, and that person runs a very big business here. And I had a long conversation with him. So I said, the thing is, if you don't have a local presence, it's really hard to grow a business, right? Because there is nobody there to look after your business operations. You need to build relationships, you can't do it virtually. I think the one thing that COVID has taught us, post-COVID has taught us, that we want to be out and about. Enough of talking to the laptop, because it's like when you talk to a laptop, because you can't hear anything back, it's just like talking to a machine. And I think people are, I think people are fatigued by using Teams and Zoom calls, and therefore they want to do interaction like this, and we would also prefer that. What else? Yes, ma'am. Mohit, how much time, Mohit? Yeah.
Hi, I'm Radhika. I'm from IIT Roper. That's one of the academic institutes situated in Punjab. So my question is on the free trade agreement discussions that we are presently having, both the governments are having. Specifically, I want to discuss on...
I expect this question, but a very smart one. Because a lot of the question, a part of the question is under the scope of the free trade agreement, right? And I think you touched a very sensitive on Scotch whisky. I know India is the largest consumer of Scotch whisky, but just imagine if it were to come under the FTA, what will happen to the prices and consumption? It will actually go up. In terms of your other question on how do we work, so in our meeting with Invest Punjab yesterday, right? I think there is a. Let me just step back. Let me just answer the wider question first. So till the time, at the moment, the bilateral trade itself is very strong regardless of the FTA, right? So, and we know which sectors, and we've done a sector mapping between India and UK. So we know which sectors are strong in the UK and which are strong in India. So if you look at the kind of companies, thank you finally, sorry about that. We normally do the Q&A at the end, but that's fine. So there is a sector mapping that we've done. And if anyone in the audience, or let's say if you like to work with, let's say, any, in a particular sector in the UK, then you come to us and we'll connect you to the relevant sector team here, and they'll connect you to the relevant team in London. That's how we work at the moment. What the free trade agreement is going to do is, it is just going to sort of give a boost to the current bilateral trade, which itself is very strong. I think the good thing is that there is the people-to-people contact between India and UK. If you look at the number of students that travel, can I also have the clicker, because I can't. Oh, that's very poor management. Sorry, that's not. You don't have a clicker.
No, they have the clicker. They're not able to use it.
It has been the second largest source of FDI for UK for the last 4 years, which is incredible. And US being the number one. Can we just move on, please, to the next one? These are some of the other firsts for the UK. So if you look at, in terms of attracting investments, in terms of startup and scale-up ecosystems, the good thing I just want to say here, in terms of startup and scale-up ecosystem, UK is actually very, very robust in terms of the number of accelerators and incubators that we have, and the knowledge partners that we work with. So again, this is one thing that a lot of companies, not only existing ones, the ones that have been part of our delegations have given us feedback that the ecosystem is very strong, and we'll be happy to showcase this as part of our delegation in June as well. So that's one thing. Of course, I spoke about research and collaboration in terms of financial services. Yeah, this is all good. I think next slide, please. Yeah. Next. This is a good slide because it just sums up our host of services and why you should look at the UK. In terms of the opportunity and size of the market, sixth largest economy. People keep telling us India is now the fifth, which is great. I think under the Prime Minister's leadership, India has done extremely well. And our GDPs, there's a very, very minor difference. But I always keep saying that you should always look at for the economy, if you have to look at the real indicator of the economy, then that should be the GDP per capita. So that's very important. So imagine UK with 6.5 crore people versus 140 crore, and you have the same size of GDP. What would be the GDP per capita and the lifestyle impact? That's just going to be very, very significantly different. High quality of life, because there are already 1,000 Indian companies in the UK, right? The one feedback that we've always got from every top executive is that UK is just not great for doing business, but the overall experience of being there is the children's education, healthcare, the experience of living in the UK, all of that put together just makes it very, very attractive. And of course, easy access to talent. I keep saying the top world's 4 universities are now in the UK: Oxford, Cambridge, UCL, and some of these, and Imperial. And of course, on tax benefits, I'll speak about it a little bit later. Can you please move? So the one thing I didn't mention was, as part of our department, we have 3 remits. I spoke about the investment is basically where we help Indian companies set up in the UK. Trade is the other way around, where we get British companies into India to work with Indian companies. And trade policy is where we talk about market access, and free trade agreement falls under these kind of issues. Next please. Next. These are some good examples of the different kind of delegations that we take to UK and different kind of partners. I'm surprised we don't have TiE as a partner listed here, but we do work very closely with TiE. So we work with ASSOCHAM, TiE, NASSCOM, and different kind of delegations. So depending on the sectors. So we are very focused on sectors, making sure that the right kind of companies get the right kind of experience and advantage. Next, please. These are some of the other activities that we've pretty much done. The one to the right there was in November last year, where our Trade Commissioner hosted an event for all the country heads of Indian companies in the UK. That was very well received, because I think as the UK government, we are in a position to anchor these kind of events where we give Indian companies in the UK itself an opportunity to network and get to know each other and also draw on each other's strengths. Next, please. Yeah, this is a very interesting slide because this tells you what is it that one needs to do if you're looking to set up a legal entity. So these are some of the steps that I spoke about. Legal structure, register a company, apply for, of course, visas is very important. I'll cover that a bit later. Corporate tax, payroll, property search, recruit. All of this can be done while you are sitting in your offices in Chandigarh or outside Chandigarh or in Punjab. All of this information can be. We have a list of partners of British companies who are actually here in India, who can come and talk to you, meet you. We can invite them over a call with you and answer all your specific questions. So, and there are multiple partners to choose from. So it depends, and everyone charges a different price. So whatever works best for you. What we've done good is that the first session is always free, and then what happens is the smarter companies have one session each with different partners. So they get 3-4 sessions free. So it actually works out quite well. Next slide, please. Next one. There are some soft landing packages that different regions provide to startups and new companies, which is now there is a lot of flexibility. As you know, UK is a combination of England. Let me ask this question. I've been talking for a long time. Let me just. How many regions are there in the UK? Who knows that answer for sure?
Scotland and Ireland.
Scotland and Ireland. I'm getting spurs of answers. You said England, Scotland and Ireland.
Wales.
Four.
There are 4 actually.
Four regions.
Who said 4? Yeah, and can someone name all 4 of them together? So Ireland is not part of, it's Northern Ireland. Okay, that's good. So there are very interesting soft landing packs. So all of these, so if you were to ask me, hey Vikram, what is the financial incentive or incentive that we provide? It's very difficult to answer, but there are some standard packages that some of the regions do provide. So for example, NASSCOM actually had a tie with Manchester for soft landing, that if you come to Manchester, they'll give you 6 months of free working space. There are some other regions also that actually offer similar sort of, welcome packages, soft language, as you would like to call them, welcome or soft landing packages, for you to, they give you time for you to settle in, so that it's easy on your wallet, and it's also very cost effective. But I always keep saying that don't just get very lured by incentives, because ultimately the incentives will stop, and your business model should ideally support the work that you're doing. This is an interesting slide that tells you how many different kind of travelers go to the UK. So of course, well, that's magic. So there were 3 different kind of travelers. One, of course, the students. So students, we get from India. I don't know how many of you know, but from India, the maximum number of students go to the UK to study. Can you imagine? It was a revolution for us also. And UK offers the maximum number of work permit visas to India. I mean, you get the lion's share of work permit visas. These are basically your India company transfer visas, work permit visas that are offered by the government, and of course, visitor visas. So if you were to, let's say, travel to the UK on business or tourism, there would be a standard visitor visa, which is, so every time you travel to the UK, you could actually stay there for 6 months and come back and again go, depending on the need and requirement. These are just the different kind of visas, right? I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what are the different kind of visas. What we've done is we've designed a visa scheme which suits everybody's requirement in their own way, right? So if you look at whether it is the innovator funder visa, this requires endorsement. So if you're doing something really interesting, you could do that. There is a global, the erstwhile visa was called the global mobility visa, which is typically used by larger companies. And then you have the skilled worker visa. So for this, what we normally recover, and the next one please, next slide. Typically for the visa requirements, see, we are not visa experts, and you know your job and the objective of being in the UK for how long, the purpose and all of that stuff. What we do is, I said last time also when we were here, we are happy to introduce you to a set of immigration experts. They can do a session for you and explain to you, depending on your requirement, what kind of visa will actually fit you best, And then what they also do is, of course, for a fee, they would then put in your application and help you sort of follow the entire process. I spoke about living in the UK. This one feedback that we keep getting is actually good. So let's just move to the next slide, please. Yes, these are some of the other areas that are coming up very, very strongly. And of course, UK continues to be a big player in some of these different technologies, whether it is clean energy, or whether it is financial services, life sciences, deep tech, and advanced manufacturing. Next, please. This is an interesting slide on startup and ecosystem. This is quite sort of informative. I'm not going to read through all the points, but if you look at the key clusters, it is Thames Valley, Manchester, Cambridge, Bristol, Leeds, all known for different kind of startups. So what we could also guide you is, suppose you say, hey, we are in the business of, let's say, augmented reality or virtual reality, or we want to do something on AI, we want to do something on deep tech or automotive. We could guide you to where you should be located. Having said that, 50% of Indians are actually in London because of their customers and easy access to across the country. And of course, some of these top Indian companies are obviously doing extremely well in the UK. Next slide, please. Growth of unicorns. I think this morning Aman was talking about unicorns in India, which is a good example. But amongst in the European Union, though UK is no longer part of the European Union, but it's still part of Europe. So UK still has 160 unicorns, more than anybody else so far. So that just reflects on the very strong fundamentals of the support that the UK provides to young budding entrepreneurs. The spirit is very, and that's something if you are really keen to be in the UK or you have an ambition to be, you must sign up for this delegation that Kanika is leading with us. And that'll be a very good eye opener for you to see for yourself what London has to offer or what UK has to offer in terms of ecosystem. Yes, next please. Yeah, I spoke about artificial intelligence. This is a very interesting slide. There's already a lot of work happening on AI. I was having a very interesting chat with Mr. Agarwal sir also. He's very keen to do something very interesting in AI. So there is a massive opportunity, obviously. I don't know, 2 weeks ago I was attending a session at the NASSCOM Technology Leadership Program. It was actually a masterclass for the entire day on AI. And I was just, for a minute, they actually scared us by saying AI can actually read your mind as well. So I'm sure your spouses shouldn't have that. As long as they don't have it, it's okay. Next slide, please. The one before this. So these are, that's the Tata chairman. They announced the Gigafactory, the 4 billion investment that Tata Group is making in the UK. They're setting up a massive Gigafactory to set up new battery technologies. That's one. The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak hosting the Global Investment Summit. So we did this last year in November, where the top investors from all over the world were invited. So we had about 9 from India who were attending this summit. Next slide, please. These are again some of the. This is you can see the London Technology Week that Prime Minister hosted last year. He was the one who inaugurated the London Tech Week last year. Our Trade Commissioner actually had to go and meet the site Chief Minister, so he would have been here. Next one, please. This is the GenPact AI Innovation Center inauguration that we did in London last year in November. I think it was extremely well received. That's Minister Dominic Johnson. He made a very impressive speech there. Next one, please. This is the launch of announcement of the Tata Gigafactory in Somerset, the 4 billion announcement that happened. I think this is the biggest investment by any Indian company. I just have a question. Can anyone guess who is the largest overseas employer in UK?
Tata's.
TCS, Infosys.
I heard Tata's, TCS, Infosys. I need at least 3 more guesses.
Walmart.
Walmart. Okay, it's not a country, but it could be a good investor. Who else? No, but you're right. You could have said that. Yeah. I was thinking. Who else? Anyone else?
Group companies, steel,
Genpact is a good wild guess. Yeah. It's actually the Tata Group. So, who said Tata's? Yes, well done. Sorry, I don't have any prizes for guessing, but I'll host you for lunch today. Yeah. Next one, please. Tata's actually employ close to almost, and don't hold me to this figure, right? But I know for a fact they employ close to about 80,000 people in the UK. It's bigger than Apple, Amazon, Google, Facebook, all of these put together. So that's a big deal. And I think we, as the UK government, we have a very senior minister who manages the relationship with the Tata Group. Is that important? Yeah, these are some of the meetings that our trade minister does with different people. Next slide, please. I think we're almost. And someone asked us, how do we get in touch with you? These are all our email IDs and phone numbers. So feel free to. And Aman is actually based in Chandigarh, so you can. And next, I think. Yeah. Sorry about the late start and the very tardy management, but any more questions I can answer. I know I'm. Oh yes, you still are good. Yes, sir. I'll come back to you.
Hi, good afternoon. We are the e-com consultants with Amazon, eBay and Walmart Global. We ourselves have a UK entity and we have about 180 clients already working in UK. E-com setting. The biggest pain point for us is the timeline for setting up the entity remotely with the UK HMRC, registering it, VAT, and all those things.
Yeah.
So that is not the topic of the discussion. The topic of discussion is the e-commerce market is one of the largest, biggest growing markets universally. UK is one of the largest markets. A lot of UK companies want to sell in India, US, Canada, Australia, Dubai, Middle East, KSA. How is it we can collaborate with your department for not only taking these companies global from UK, but also all global companies fled from US, Canada into UK, particularly in the e-com segment?
So, sorry, I didn't get your name.
Nipun Bansal.
Nirmal.
Nipun Bansal.
So how we are structured is what we do in India. So what we are responsible for. I didn't show this slide actually. Sorry about that. This proposal, which we will go through and say, okay, yeah, I think that makes there's a merit in. Then we can connect you to our colleagues in London who look after the US as a market, right? But having said that, I think it will be very difficult. Let's say if you have to do this for 10 or 15 countries, but that'll actually involve setting up a team of maybe 25 people in London who will just come around to support you, which is going to be very difficult. So our remit essentially here is to ensure that if you want to do, any Indian company wants to do business in UK, or any British company wants to do any business in India, that is something we directly do. Having said that, if you travel, we do some very interesting events in not only in London but across UK. We can give you information on some of those events where people from all over the world actually attend those events. So that gives you a very good platform to network and create and build your own network. I know this answer doesn't help you, but I just want to be very honest on this one, just to set expectations. Yes.
And sorry to interrupt, the lunch is served. So I was thinking you could carry on with the questions over lunch.
Ma'am, I think let's ask two questions.
Sure.
We've anyway missed our lunch.
Quick one, yeah.
Hi Vikram, the question to partner of Tech UK.
Oh, very.
And as you must be knowing that London Tech Week is coming in June.
I don't think we know that. When is it happening?
June 10th, 14th.
Just joking.
No, but I think the point where I was coming from is, so I asked Tech UK about their fees of hosting as one of us as the member in their podium and doing the digital marketing. That seems to be quite high.
Yeah.
So my question is, do you have any plans where we can
I show you. I didn't get your name. I'm sorry.
Shamajit.
So, and we tried our. So one of the things that we do, being a government department, we can work directly with the Mayor of London's office and get everyone registered. Now, and there are different commercial offers if you want to promote your products and services. We can share that with you, but I can assure you they'll be far more lucrative than being offered.
And that's what we are looking for, right?
Okay, but just in case you are, okay, we'll definitely do our best. So we have some offers available, we can share that with you.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Sorry, there's one lady there. You have a question, yes?
So can we take it offline?
Yeah, last question. Everything has been offline without my slides so far, so I think we can do it for 5 more minutes.
Okay, so I think that's something that we can look forward to.
Maybe it's time to break for lunch. That's this is like some family. It's not like some unknown thing, but all the CEOs of all the top British companies come to the High Commissioner's residence, at different engagement levels that we do. If you are keen to connect with any one of them, let's say you want to connect with BBC, I think a good starting point would be for us to connect you here in India, and then they would connect you back to UK. Or alternatively, we could also go back to our team in London and say, hey, if you're traveling to London, and then if there's an opportunity that comes up for us to make an introduction, we could do that as well. I know you're not really happy with the answer, but after our lunch, yeah. Thank you so much. Yes.
No, not a question. So for everybody who's present here, I think Vikram already touched on it, but not everyone was here. So we are planning a delegation to London during the London Tech Week, which is from 7th to 10th of June. And of course, there'll be additional days for us to meet some local entrepreneurs, incubators, which Vikram and his team are planning for us. So if you want to be a part of it, now is the time. Please get in touch with me, and I think you know how to get in touch with me.
Thank you, everyone. And we can enjoy lunch now. Thanks.
He deserves a bigger round of applause for all his patience and everything. So we will resume the next sessions after.
Oh, good. Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yeah.